Yeah, Freebird, Wonderwall, all the hits.
See, I've never learned those songs just because when someone yells them out, I want to be able to say, I don't know that song. Well, they always yell it out whenever I'm doing like an acoustic set. So there would be no guitar solo. It'd just be like 8 minutes of rhythm guitar and guitar solo, but there's nothing there.
Welcome to the Rhymes with Green podcast. My name is Ryan Bussell, and today I'm joined by another fantastic artist. She was the 2020 Young Adult Artist of the Year by the International Singer-Songwriters Association, as well as the Best Pop Artist at the 2023 Mississippi Music Awards, as awarded by them, and the Best New Artist of the Year at the year prior at the Syracuse Area Music Awards in 2022. Her latest album, Unfashioned Creatures, just released last fall, and I'm very happy to have Sydney Irving here on the Rhymes with Green podcast. Hey, Sydney.
Hey Ryan, thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. So let's get started at the very beginning. What was like your very initial introduction to music?
I grew up in a very music-y household. Nobody played anything, but everybody really loved music. So I grew up with music playing in the car, music playing in the house. One of my earliest memories of music is riding in the car with my dad. I was about 3 years old, probably, and he had taught me all the words to Paradise City by Guns N' Roses. So I'm this little 3-year-old like singing along to Guns N' Roses.
I'm sure your mother was thrilled with that.
She
Although
loved it. She thought it was great.
I suppose it's cute when they don't know what the words that they're saying and what they're talking about. It's Oh, and real quick before we get too further much further in, you got a couple of guitars behind you. What do you have there?
All right, so over here I have this is my trusty electric guitar. It's RT Custom. It's a custom electric guitar um, that was made by a really cool company in Syracuse, New York. Actually, my name's on the back of the headstock. I don't know if you can see it. And then I have my acoustic guitar. This is the guitar that I bring to every single one of my shows for the as long as I can remember. And I write all my songs on it. I record on it in the studio. That's my Breed Love guitar, and
Wow.
you'll never see me without
And do they
it.
have any names or anything?
I don't name my guitars. I don't know if you have any suggestions. Let me know.
Well, I guess the green one, since it has your name on it, it can be like Sydney 2, kind of like Little Shop of Horrors Audrey 2, but Sydney 2.
I like it. I
It'll start
like
talking
it.
to you on stage. So you mentioned music growing up in the household. What were some of those like early influences? I assume that got you hooked and interested on wanting to play instruments.
I got my first guitar for my ninth birthday. It was I had a it was at the birthday party that my parents gave me the guitar, but my birthday party was Angry Birds themed, which I was like, pretty sick birthday party.
iPad Kid.
Um, oh yeah. And so I got it. It sat in the corner for probably a few months until I started guitar lessons with my friend Lauren Kraskowski. And I didn't practice. It took me probably about a year until I discovered Taylor Swift's Speak Now album. And that really got me into wanting to play, wanting to sit down on my floor and write songs. And then after that, I got really into Tom Petty and I just like fully was like, music's the thing. This is what I want to do. And this is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Wow. Did you like play at school then, or you mentioned you got private lessons from a friend? When did you kind of start playing with other people, not just like by yourself?
In school, I did chorus. I didn't do band because there was no guitar in the band, and I, I don't know. I liked guitar the best because I could sing with it. So I'd go to school, I'd come home, I'd like either bust out my homework and then do guitar, or I'd sit down with my guitar and write songs. And my mom would be like, "Did you do your homework?" And I'm like, "Totally." But I was a good student, I promise.
There's more important
But
things going on in here.
exactly. Rock and roll is far more important than homework. But I didn't really start playing with a band until I was about 16 years old. That's when my first band formed, called Sydney Irving and the Mojo. And that was really the start of the whole bit. I started playing acoustic gigs when I was about 14 though. So I'd play at the local pumpkin patch called Tim's Pumpkin Patch every single weekend that they'd have me. So it'd be snowing, it'd be raining. I'd have like heaters set up. My dad would like have gloves on the sidelines ready between songs to warm my hands up.
Oh, that's super cool. And so, I guess not to jump ahead too much, but recently, you mentioned playing at the Pumpkin Patch. Kind of recently, you played at the opening of a Taco Bell, a cantina Taco Bell in Manlius, Syracuse.
Manlius, New York.
It's Manlius. That's how it's said.
You got it. You're like a
Okay.
New Yorker now.
It sounds
Upstate
like
New
I don't know. It sounds
Yorker.
like a Greek hero. Yeah, Manlius, not Syracuse, because I'm realizing now that Syracuse is a city in New York as well. But you played at a Taco Bell there. Do you have a go-to Taco Bell order?
You're never gonna believe this. I've never eaten at Taco Bell until I played at the opening. So I went to the opening, I got to perform, which was so cool and so much fun. And they have like kiosks that you can order on, and I'm not tech savvy whatsoever. I should be based on the fact that I'm 22, but I'm not. So it's like you go up and you have to order on the kiosk, and I like to talk to a person. So every time I do a kiosk, I am just so overwhelmed, like trying to do it as fast as I can because there's people like behind me that want to do it too. And so I was like, all right, I just need to pick the fastest thing that I'm not going to mess up. So I picked a chicken taco and I saw people with French fries earlier and I was like, need French fries, right? So I tried to order French fries, but I ordered the French fries on the taco. Turned out
It's,
good though.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like French fries on the taco. It kind of got something new going on, and it's efficient putting the fast and fast food. Get everything all in one thing there. It's the American dream.
Just eat it all at once. It's like a 5-second meal.
Exact. Play the show, get the food, get out. You're a professional. That's how it's done.
Thank you. I'm efficient if nothing else.
Exactly, exactly. What are some of your favorite artists right now? You mentioned Tom Petty, and Taylor Swift, and some others growing up. I'm sure Taylor Swift is still in the rotation, but what other artists are there currently?
I love Sheryl Crow. I've been listening to her album called The Globe Sessions a lot lately. I love Barnes Courtney. He's awesome. I actually got to jump up on stage and perform a song with him a few years ago.
What? Tell me about that.
Wow, it was in Buffalo, New York. I had gone to see the show with my family, and before the gig, I had posted a little video of me covering one of his songs. And so I got to the show and got to meet him ahead of the show. And he was like, "Oh, you're the girl that covered my song earlier today." And I was like so stoked that he saw it. And I was like, "Yeah, like if we could do it together, that'd be so cool, like just like acoustic or whatever." And he was like, "Yeah, sure." So we had a little meet and greet ahead of the gig where he did a
Mhm.
little acoustic set. And he was like, "Come play the song with me at the acoustic set. It'll be fun." So I went and I got to perform. It's a song called You and I. It's one of my favorites by him. And we got to do it together, acoustic guitar. I even got to play his guitar, which was so cool. And then
What?
later at the show, halfway through the gig, he stopped the show and was like, "So, there's this girl who covered my song, and it was very good. We're gonna bring her up on stage. Is Sydney here?" And I didn't know what to do, so I was like, I guess I'm gonna walk toward the stage now." And total adrenaline, didn't know what was going on. Walked up on stage and got to perform the song. There's a video on YouTube of the performance.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And I mean, I can only imagine, like you said, the adrenaline that you're feeling. You kind of got like a two for one there. You got to perform it not just once, but twice. Like, I
I know
mean,
the fact that I got to do the acoustic one and then the stage was completely like, did not think that was even possible.
in
So
a way, it's like a compliment, Like if you went up for the acoustic thing and you were like nervous and turn out well, he might have been like, okay, like good job, but like
he's
he
like,
must have thought you
she
did
sucks.
incredible. Okay, thank you for coming,
Yeah,
but
I
like
think that was
that's
cute.
awesome that he was like you like I gotta bring this, to the masses.
Well,
So
thank
I'm
you.
hoping people found some of your music through that too.
I
Um,
hope so. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, jump back now a little bit to when you first got started with music. What was the first song that you got started with? You released your first album, and that was "Hello Stranger." Can you tell me a bit about that and the first song you wrote?
Definitely. Hello Stranger was my first album. I released it when I was 14 years old. The funny thing about the record was at that point in my life, I would come home from school and I'd just write songs. And then I'd want to go to open mic nights. And so my parents told me if you want to do music, you might as well just kind of like do it and just jump into it. So we booked a day at a studio in Syracuse called More Sound. I went in, I had my ukulele and I had my acoustic guitar, and I'd written 8 songs for the album. I'd written a few more, but I was like, those ones aren't good. So we're just gonna do the 8 songs. So I played each one of them 3-ish times, and then we just kind of picked the best take. So basically, it's kind of like a live acoustic album, is what it is. But it was kind of where everything got started. It's where I got to learn about going into the studio and learn about promoting my music and putting together a CD. So I'm very grateful for the ability to do that.
And that was it. That's a limited run thing, right? No one can find those albums now.
We only made 300 of them. So wherever those are, I don't know where, but those are all there is.
And did your very first song you wrote make it onto there, or what?
It didn't. It didn't. My first song was a song called Don't You Dare. I was about 12 when I wrote it. I did a summer camp in Syracuse at a place called the Red House. And essentially, the camp is a bunch of kids come to the camp and they separate them into bands. And at the end of the 2, 3 weeks, you do a concert for friends and family, and each band writes 3 songs. And I was like, oh man, like, wouldn't it be cool if I wrote a song? So I went home one of the nights and I had written this song called Don't You Dare and brought it in, and everybody was like, yeah, cool, we'll do it. So then at the end of the camp, I don't think I told my parents I was gonna sing a song. I think I told them like I wrote a song. And so they showed up and I just kind of stepped up to the microphone and was like, "Hey everyone, I'm gonna sing my song now." And my family and my guitar teacher was there at the time. He was like, "Well, I guess she sings now."
That's super cool. And did your parents like make sure to capture that on video for like one day when you make it super big and they can play it for everyone?
Oh, there's a video. I don't know if I want anyone to see it because here's the thing is I thought that I was gonna like have like a gimmick, like a thing. So I wore socks and sandals on stage.
No.
I was like, that's my gimmick. It's good. It's funny. There was no problems with the outfit. It's just I ruined it with the socks and sandals.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like you got like, I don't know, white man vacation chic on.
Oh yeah.
So did that song ever get like re-recorded for an album, or is that just that was it?
Don't You Dare got re-recorded for the second album called the Half Moon Sessions, and I changed it up a little bit. Like originally it wasn't finger picked, and so I changed it to be finger picked, and I changed some of the lyrics to it just because it was my first song. So I'd written it a few years prior, and I wanted to go back in and revise it a little bit.
Feeling a little, some of the lyrics a little edgy, maybe a little dark.
Yeah.
And so your most recent album is titled "Unfashioned Creatures." There's kind of like a dark gothic theme to all the album names. Is there kind of a reason behind that, or like a naming pattern?
That was unintentional. The reason that Hello Stranger was called Hello Stranger was because I'd written a song called Hello Stranger. So there wasn't a lot of thought behind that one. The second album was called the Half Moon Sessions because every time we'd go into the studio to record, I brought Half Moon cookies to eat in the studio.
Those are the best.
Oh, they're so good. And then the new record is called Unfashioned Creatures. This one took a little bit more thought and effort. I was going through and trying to come up with like, what is the record going to be called? And I ended up reading Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and there's a line in there that says, "We're all unfashioned creatures." And I thought that was very beautiful, and I thought it would be such a cool album name.
It is a good album name. I mean, Mary Shelley really cooked with that one, as the
Yes,
kids
she
say.
did.
Do you have like other like novels that you're kind of like interested in? Like, is this like a long time interest for you, kind of the dark monster novels and things like that?
It really isn't. I was never a big reader ever. I was more of a writer. I've been reading recently, a book that I have been reading is Rick Rubin's new book, The Creative Act, which is really phenomenal. But the monster thing, like I'm not a horror movie person, and I think the reason that I ended up looking to monster movies and like Frankenstein and stuff like that is because the album originally was an EP called Relax with Fiends. And it was called Relax with Fiends because my little sister, she's 7 years younger. And so she was probably like, I would say like 5 at the time. And she tried to write on this board where you put like the letters in. She tried to write relax with friends, but she forgot the R. So she said relax with fiends, and I thought that was hysterical. So that was the EP name. And then I thought the album should have something that kind of tied to that. So I was like, relax with fiends. I feel like that kind of gives like monster, and that's how I ended up at
Yeah. It
Frankenstein.
gives monster. It kind of keeps with like the gothic theme. It also kind of sounds like, I don't know, like a Panic at the Disco or Fall Out Boy EP maybe as well. Um yeah, I like that name. You gotta have your little sister come up with more names. Just let her loose with a marker and like a box full of letters. Um
Well, she's much older now, so she can spell, which makes it not fun.
I don't know, like do that thing at the party where they have the bat and like they spin around a bunch of times and it'll send her right back. Um
Perfect.
so, do you have any favorite places to go yet? And where have you gone?
I love performing. I've been performing full time since I was about 15 years old.
Okay.
And I've gotten to do some stuff on the East Coast. Went down to Georgia and performed in Georgia. I went down to the Keys last year and got to play down there. I've gotten to do like Maryland, Pennsylvania, and a bit of New York because I'm from New York. I don't know if it's hard. It's really hard to pick a favorite venue. There's definitely some that stick out that were just like a cool experience. Like, but anytime I get to get on stage,
Yeah.
it's awesome just to get to be able to share my music and get up in front of people and sing songs that I wrote. Um,
Well, that
but
is definitely some extensive touring, and maybe you don't have to have a favorite venue, but are there like any cities that you look forward to going to, anything like that?
That's a tough one. I really loved going to Florida. Obviously, I mean, I'm from New York. I'm from Syracuse, New York. So I love getting to play close to home. And that's always really fun. We have a bunch of stuff coming up this year, though, that I'm really excited for. In March, my band, The Creatures, and I are headed to New York City. We're going to be in New Jersey, and we're also going to be in Philly, which is going to be awesome. I've never
Yeah.
played in New York City, so I can't wait for that. I've never played in Jersey and I've never played in Philly, so
You've
it'll be a
never
great
played in
time.
Jersey. I take it for granted. I'm like, hey, it's nothing special here, but yeah, when you come here, make sure you take advantage of. I don't know if it's you driving or whoever you got driving. Make sure you take advantage of not needing to pump your own gas.
Oh,
Um,
they wouldn't let me drive the band van. That would be a bad idea. I'm a good driver, but that's a big car.
what role do you play in the kind of the travel setup? Are you the person with like the who's on the music, or are you like the navigation person?
This is the first time that the band and I have been on the road with this band, with this group of awesome musicians. So we're gonna have to feel it out. I personally like to pick the music, but I don't know how that's gonna go. I'm probably gonna be the person putting together the playlist and being like, everybody send me songs you want to hear, and then I'll just do that.
There you go. Maybe not everyone has the same music app, so you can't do that thing like that all the apps have now, where you can like create like a playlist with all your liked songs or your liked songs because it just like assumes what you like, and you're like, I guess I'm listening to the hits of the '80s now.
You're like, it's
Um,
my favorite. How'd you know?
every playlist you look up thereafter is influenced by that, even if it has nothing to do with it. But that I digress. So 2025 was a pretty big year with your with signing with Deco Entertainment. Can you talk a little bit about that? How'd that come to be?
Deco is awesome. Everybody over there is so cool. This all started about 3 years ago because my longtime guitar teacher, I talked about him earlier, Lauren, he was working selling records at the Boukville Antique Week in New York. And this gentleman walked up to the table and asked if he had any Emerson, Lake and Palmer albums. And Lauren was like, "Yeah, why?" And he was like, "Well, I manage them." So Lauren's light bulb went off and was like, "Gotta get a business card. Gotta tell him about Sydney." So he grabbed this business card and he'd had it in his wallet for about 3 years. and he kept telling me, you should reach out, you should reach out. He might like your stuff. And for whatever reason, I just never did. And so Lauren eventually was like, I'm just going to reach out on my own and just see what happens. So he called up, his name's Bruce, and he called up Bruce and gave his best Sydney Irving pitch. And Bruce liked the music, and now I'm signed with him for international management. His name's Bruce Pilato. He's very awesome. And then he sent my music out to some places, and about a week later, ended up signing the record deal with Deco.
That's incredible. That's incredible. And so then that was when Unfashioned Creatures got re-released, and that was the re-release of your previous EP, um, oh, The Fiends. What was it?
Relax with Fiends.
Relax with Fiends. Yeah. Now that we're in 2026, what can people come to expect of Sydney Irving and the gang on the road and musically?
Wow, lots of stuff. We have lots of really fun stuff coming up for 2026. I was just in the studio yesterday, so
Ooh.
potentially some stuff there. But March 5th, 6th, and 7th, the Creatures and I are headed out on the road. We're going to New York City, and I'm super excited and honored to have been invited to the Recording Academy New York City office to perform
Wow.
for their staff. And then we're playing a legendary venue in New York called The Cutting Room, which I'm so excited for. Then we're headed to New Jersey on the 6th, and we get to go hang out with everybody at Deco and do a little performance, details to come. And then we're gonna wrap it up on March 7th at Bar 2300 in Philly, which actually just got announced. So you can get your tickets now.
Nice. Right here. Awesome. So you have a few music videos out now for some of your more recent songs. Are there any favorite moments or from recording those, and are there any influences for when it comes time to plan those out?
Music videos, I have one coming very soon for a song called Move On. That's the newest single. So, to come, you can check it out on my YouTube channel very soon. But the last video we did was called Something Better. It's a song from the record on Fashion Creatures. And I got to shoot that with my friend Madison. She's from Deco. And I got some of my awesome friends to come and help. And when we were shooting this one part, it was in a theater in Syracuse called the Palace Theater. It's a beautiful theater. And along the wall, they have all these candles that can be turned on with a remote.
Yeah.
So my friend Bronte, she was like, "Oh, wouldn't it be a great idea if when you walked, they turned on as you went by them?" So I was like, "Yeah, that's great." So I start walking, and she's in the like seats, and she didn't realize that she was gonna have to hurdle the seats in order to turn on the lights while I walked through. And so I'm walking down, and out of the corner of my eye, she is just like full athletic, like leaping over these seats, trying to get them all to turn on in time. And then she ended up tripping and falling, and then everybody just started laughing. So that part didn't end up in the video, I don't think. At least that take didn't. You can find a little clip. I put it on my social media of like behind the scenes. It looked crazy. It was fun.
That's awesome. And then for your not awesome for your friend who had to deal with all those bruises. I'm sure they woke up one day with like, what happened? Oh yeah. But for your music video Rain, did you specifically choose a day for that? Like it's coming up on the calendar, or were you just like walking through a city one day and it happened? You're like, I got a song. Let's make this happen.
When I wrote the song Rain, I thought, wouldn't it be so cool if there's like real rain in the music video? But trying to time that is like nearly impossible. So we were supposed to shoot the You Can't Forget About Me music video, and it started downpouring. So I was like, well, let's do the rain video instead. And that's how we ended up getting rain in the video.
That's awesome. That's perfect. Yeah. And you don't need to pay somebody with like a plastic bag full of holes and just kind of like shaking it over your head or whatever.
Imagine that.
There was one other band that you actually got to go up on stage with, besides just the one that you mentioned earlier. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's a band called Midland, and they're a country band that I've loved for a really long time. So I got to go to the show. I had gotten the tickets for my birthday, and there was like a little meet and greet ahead of the show that I got tickets to go and see. And so I got to go, and they were doing questions. and I was like, hey, like I'm a singer-songwriter too, and I cover some of your songs sometimes. And I didn't get to my question, but the lead singer's name's Mark. He was like, oh, well, come up and do one then. So I got to jump up on stage, and they gave me one of their really, really nice acoustic guitars. And it's a song called 14 Gears that I've been covering for a long time. And so we got to do 14 Gears. I got to play it with the band, and they appeared to be blown away at my version of their song. And they're like, well, why don't you come up at the show later tonight, like the big show? So I got to jump up on stage and perform for a sold out room in New York. And it was such a surreal experience. I got to play one of their really nice guitars, and like they're just such pros. Like the version that I do is different than the version that they would normally play, and I do it in a completely different key, and they just like threw it together. No problem. Sounded great. I went home after the show, and some people had posted videos onto social media of the performance, and I woke up the next morning to 50,000 views on the video, and it's even more now, like 80,000 views, which is absolutely insane. So, thank you so much to Midland for the awesome opportunity.
That's awesome. You mentioned that you cover some of their songs. Are there like what are some covers? I suppose there are probably a lot, but what are some of your favorites, favorite songs to cover, just in general, maybe not just from Midland?
In general, I mean, love Midland. I always do 14 Gears when I play an acoustic set. I love doing Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell. The band and I do a version of The One I Love by REM. Always love doing some Tom Petty. So we just played Running Down a Dream at our last show.
That's a
But
fun
like,
song.
oh, it's such a fun one. But I love doing songs that like people get stoked on. You know what I mean? Like Tom Petty and like Joni Mitchell and stuff like that. And people are like, oh my goodness, I love the song. And I love the song too. So just getting to sing along with everybody is such a blast.
Yeah, Freebird, Wonderwall, all the hits.
See, I've never learned those songs just because when someone yells them out, I want to be able to say, I don't know that song. I've heard it,
Well,
I've just never played it.
I was gonna say Wonderwall. You could probably sound that out. Freebird, ooh, I don't know.
Well, they always yell it out whenever I'm doing like an acoustic set, so there would be no guitar solo. It would just be like 8 minutes of rhythm guitar.
You know what? Maybe you should learn it just to like punish them with that. Just like this is what you asked for. This is what you wanted.
And guitar solo, but there's nothing there.
Exactly, exactly. Just the rhythm guitar guys. You didn't ask for the solo. That's extra.
That's so funny.
Yeah. But thank you so much for coming on to the podcast today. If people want to see you on stage, where can they find you?
You can check out more information about everything that I do at my website, sydneyirvingmusic.com. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it, but March 13th, the band and I are performing at the Rome Capitol Theater in Rome, New York, opening up for Pat Travers. And you can get your
Wow.
tickets for that right now, too, which you can find at the website.
Awesome. So thank you so much for being on the Rhymes with Green podcast today. Once again, make sure you check out the website once again right there. And listen to the album Unfashioned Creatures wherever your albums are found. That's where you can probably find it. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me today. It's a super blast hanging out with you.
Thank you for listening to the Rhymes with Green podcast. Have a great rest of your day. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes, and I'll see you in the next one.